What's up, guys? Sub-Zero here, back for another VOD review. Today, we're going to do a Dishsoap VOD review because if you look this way, you can see this man has been just putting on an absolute masterclass of performance. 2.6 AVP of almost all of his games are either firsts or seconds, and he was the first person to hit 500 LP in NA. I mean, he just absolutely smurfed it, and he's been playing a lot of stuff post B patch. He has been playing just good flex TFT, and so I want to delve into one of the lines that he's been playing because this is a line that I would say I am the least familiar with, and I think a lot of people, you know, could stand to learn, especially people who were forcing other lines last patch. This is definitely going to be one of the, oh my god, does Dishsoap already have? I mean, yeah, he probably does. Honestly, it's not that crazy. I was like, he has the end of battle pass little portal, but I mean, like, for somebody who is like, honestly, a lot of people probably have this portal now that I think about it, just because these are people who play TFT full time. But yeah, I mean, first thing already to kind of shout out from Dishsoap that I think is cool here is his priority on Nitro. He talked about, he posted a tweet, I'll put the link in the description down below, to kind of like talk about how he, you know, achieved his rank 1. This is already also a pretty interesting decision, actually, just to make 10 in this spot, to say, you know what, we're in Scuttle Galaxy. Usually you're not that excited to make like an early 10. I see a lot more people hold units than make 10, but I think he's rating a lot of these units quite poorly. He's saying the only opener that I can reasonably play from this spot is Nitro. He has the Veigar, but I don't think he's that excited about Veigar. So he's like, you know what, I'm just going to make 10 gold. I'm not going to get to hold the Nidalee, but it's okay. I'm just going to make 10. I mean, I think this makes a lot of sense when you're just not that excited about the units that you have access to. So yeah, but yeah, on the Nitro idea, Dishsoap actually pretty high on Nitro. A lot of like tempo Nitro. There's some reroll lines. He said there's 5 lines, which I believe are Zeri Nitro, Annie Nitro, Dynamo Nitro, and then the 2 Nitro rerolls, the Veigar Nitro, and the Jhin Nitro. I think those are the 5 lines that he's talking about, and I mean, those are 5 Nitro lines that you can play. So a Nitro enjoyer there from Dishsoap. We get calculated to loss to start off the game, and we're already playing for a loss streak, and this augment is quite strong, so I really do think for Dishsoap this makes a ton of sense. He's actually, Dishsoap's a good player, man. He's a good player. He's not messing around, man. This guy is locked in. He's scouting the lobby to see how many people in my lobby are actually going to like open and play a weak board into me. And I mean, he's actually, okay, yeah, he's gonna full open now just to ensure that he loses to some people like this Shaco guy. Because yeah, like if you play a board versus this, you might actually accidentally beat Soulless. So just ensuring that he loses. But I mean, honestly, after losing to Soulless, I think most people he's actually going to be able to field a couple of units and maybe kill something. So yeah, but yeah, this is going to be obviously a loss streak calculated loss game. If it was last patch, this would be a full open into Samira, you know, like AMP strategist comp. No longer the case. You do not want to be playing that comp from a spot like this anymore. So yeah, we're not going to be playing that comp. We are just going to be full open into, well, we'll see. We'll see what Mr. Soapy wants to play around this game. Has a couple of units that he could hold on to here in the Shiv and the Veigar. And it's also, I'm curious to see what his item priority is going into Carousel, because these look to me like AP items, but I think Dishsoap is actually a lot more of an AD flex enjoyer. He talks about, you know, the fact that you can roll down for like the Misfortune and the Xayah comp kind of like in the same, you know, roll down. You can just kind of like take whichever, which is something actually that I was looking at the other day. Like I was in a very similar spot, and you know, it's actually very nice that you can kind of flex the 2 lines very easily. But yeah, just full open here, getting beat by Kurt Angle. This is a nice lobby, by the way. We got Kurt, Wigwug in here, replay, Soulless, Philip. Yeah, I mean, honestly, a stacked lobby. I don't know who DaBaby is GOAT is, and Pun's a name I've seen around, but yeah, I don't know who that other player is. But I mean, all these other players are, you know, high elo players who are usually, you know, challenger, high challenger very often. All right, big moment of truth here. What are we taking off Carousel? Looks like he does want the blue buff here. So looks like he is still potentially leaning into the idea of playing that angle, just because, I mean, his idea might be that we have so much gold this game, even though it is a, you know, the comp is nerfed, we could still actually potentially angle towards it. Now, I will say this is not the angle that he does take this game, so spoilers a little bit on the line that he ends up playing. But yeah, I mean, if he just played a strategist line, I mean, I don't know, maybe I'd VOD review it just to see how good the line is post nerfs, but it's whatever. We end up rotating into level 4 here. Just have actually been really high roll with the people he's fought. I think he fought level 3 into level 3, and now Wigwag's level 4 here. He actually is going to be one of the healthiest killed 0 boards you've ever seen, just because he's getting free HP by not killing units, but by just fighting people who are lower level. Now he's at this point here where the only people left are the top 3 HP, so we can actually field a little bit of a board here, you know, a real bit of a board here. The main goal is just to kill a unit here if possible. I mean, he's on the side where he's going to be killing the robot, which is not ideal, but maybe there's a world where he can kill off something else. Nope, doesn't look like it. Well, good try by Dishsoap. We end up fighting level 6 replay, so that'll finally at least bring us down a little bit. But yeah, is that delayed damage? I think it might actually be 70. Okay, yeah, I was gonna say 74 sounds a little bit high, but 70 HP for the fact that we fought a level 6 there and that we killed 0 units is quite high. You can definitely be like 69 HP by killing none, but he's 70 after fighting level 6 just because all those other fights we just kind of high rolled that we were fighting low level players. But yeah, we have a Darius 2 and a Braum here. I feel like you do have to pick that up in this spot, but we'll see. No, wow, he actually, yeah, doesn't buy it at all and is just saying we are going to super peepo sit on this board and just full of, I mean, this is craziness from Dishsoap. I definitely would have been tempted to just grab that Darius just to give us some kind of early board to play for. And then we looked at our items here. I mean, if you want to play towards that Annie idea, which, I mean, these days I think is a lot worse. I mean, you do have blue buff Nashers and then half of Shojin here. You have stuff like Spark, Steadfast are good slams as well. Like, there's a lot of good slams if we were on pre-B patch, like, the setup makes a lot of sense. Oh my God. I mean, yeah, I think you actually can't take forward thinking here because you're probably not going to die, but you could actually die in 5 fights here, and you're gonna have enough gold. You don't really need forward thinking here. The other thing is forward thinking forces you to roll at 4-2. You can roll out earlier with calculated loss, so I actually think it's not that. Cyber bulk I like a lot though. Cyber bulk you would especially like if you were playing more of that AP setup that you know, the Viego clone gets cyber bulk value. You do just want a lot of items in general. We're gonna pick up the Xayah here and play a little bit into almost this Vanguard idea here, and it's very easy to see how this could become a Vanguard game. The only downside is that we do have these extra tiers here, and so we'd be kind of, yeah, we're kind of forced to make this Shojin here. It's not bad. I know there have been there's some people talking about the fact that the stats don't actually really support Shojin on the Xayah if you know that you're playing towards Xayah, but Shojin's fantastic in that it allows you to flex the Xayah, the MF, and then it's also Shojin's a great slam onto Xayah that eventually can go onto Aurora or Aurora. It's you know, like in the Anima squad version, you can put the Shojin onto Xayah and then Aurora, and then if you're playing the MF setup, you can also go from MF to Aurora. So Shojin actually I still think is a fantastic slam just because it's a good usage of your item components, and then it allows you to just get to that stuff late game. We do end up slamming a Steadfast Heart here just because it does, I mean, it's a great item onto the Darius. A little surprised by the fact that we do slam that just because we did have the opportunity of going like a Shojin IE Last Whisper setup, which we could flex on both units as long as we get a sword off carousel here. We can no longer go that though because we just burned one of our gloves here though. Oh my God, that is a completed anvil. I mean, I would look at the sword here. Yeah, I mean, lowest of keys, this is actually pretty low roll that this is our carousel because I mean, we only get item priority here. We don't actually get to pick up a you know, a higher cost unit or anything like that. So that's actually kind of unfortunate. But I mean, what are you gonna do? It's TFT. I mean, we can wait to crack the anvil. I mean, or not. I guess we're just gonna crack it here at this point just to try to save some HP. Okay, so that's the idea. And we do end up making the even shroud, just a pretty reasonable slam. We're bulk spreading everything, by the way, here. And so that's the other reason why I guess that we didn't care so much about losing that second glove is that he knows he's gonna make the even shroud. So then who cares about Last Whisper when we have even shroud? Also, man, my lo-fi is so, I mean, it's normal. It's probably normal sound for you guys. I think maybe I have the sound low. It's so quiet for me, but I don't mind it that much being that quiet. All right, we finally take a win here after slamming some stuff. We do find our Annie, but at this point, so this is just going to be one of those games where Dish is going to do the exact same, the exact thing that he talked about in his tweet, is that look at what we're holding and look at what we're playing. We're fielding Xayah. We're fielding this you know, like towards this marksman Vanguard setup. But we're also holding Morganas on bench. We're also holding the Elise on bench. This is just a very nice AD flex setup that you can go. And if you hit, you know, Xayah 2 or you hit MF 2, you can commit to that line. I'm really curious to see. I'm going to slow down his roll down, which I have to imagine is going to be 4-1 by the amount of HP we're at. Interesting even that he doesn't hold the Jarvan pair, but I guess his thought is that it's not going to fit on the board here. And yeah, he's actually going to roll this round. So, I mean, yeah, let's start slowing this down a bit here. I mean, I think he might have already in his head. Let's go back to the start of the roll down here because I think honestly the second that we see MF, I mean he sees Zach here as well, which is another unit that I think a lot of people rated quite low before the B patch, but now Zach is really emerging as like a strong front line here. But yeah, we see MF here, we see the Leona, and yeah, he's basically, now that he sees MF, he's committing to this idea. We're still holding, you know, the other stuff here because there's, yeah, he's going to pick up the Xayah as well here. Going to sell the Sedge. There's Aurora, which is great in both comps. This is such a cool setup where you can actually flex both ideas because, yeah, like if you hit, you know, Xayah too, you can play towards that. If you hit Aurora, I mean, you can play it. And yeah, at this point, he is actually just going to say, you know what, I've hit MF, I've hit Zach already. I'm just going to play towards MF, especially with my items here. He's going to make the Shojin. He's going to move the Shojin IE over there. Not going to immediately slam the GS, but is something he's thinking about. And the really nice thing is we can roll down here for more blobs. Means that we don't need to play for as big a front line. We do need damage here. We have the Aurora, but I definitely think we need to pick up. And we have the Urgot as well for Aurora value. I do think we still really need MF2 to be excited about our damage sources here, but we can keep rolling for blobs here. No Koboko. What a world, actually, where we, you know, we skip the Koboko, but hold on to the Zac. I think last patch that would have seemed laughable, but it makes a lot of sense here. We're going to make the dupe here, and yeah, going to put the hat onto MF. No MF2 is the only really big downside from this spot, and we can start moving items to our Zac here, finish off this MF item, make something like a death cap onto Aurora here, and then yeah, this is our setup here. The only downside is we actually missed on MF2, but this was our roll down. So the idea is that you can very easily fit in a lot of these trades. Like 3 Divinicore fits beautifully onto this board. You have a Bruiser and a Vanguard on the board. And then he's fitting Zac in as his +1 here. Zac in the slot that I think usually would end up being your 4th Dynamo unit, or you can also play, I know he's holding onto the Leonas, which is another unit that you can either play over the Rost, or I've seen people like on TFT Academy, he even has like a 4 Vanguard setup, which I want to see how he would, like if he would ever fit that here. But all right, next augment here. I mean, honestly, Band of Thieves Pandoras here, I don't mind this at all. It's a TG. It allows you, yeah, okay, so he's just going to play this over Rost here because he has the Zac. It allows you to like reforge 5 cost would be, yeah, that's the dream here, and 4 cost as well to dig for MF here. So yeah, roll down this stuff here, move these items over to the Leona here, actually. Yeah, the idea being she's going to be tankier, and we can also just spread bulk value, move the TG there, great bulk item, and yeah, our bulk value is fantastic here. So this is the board, actually. Just 3 Dynamo using the Zac as extra frontline. I mean, it makes sense. We could level for 4 Dynamo down the road, but I mean, I imagine we would, just because it is. But I mean, we also do have this Renekton, though he's getting rerolled, so I guess we don't care that much about it. Quick scout of the lobby to see really not much out in terms of misfortunes, and I think that is Dishsoap's go signal to actually just roll it to 0 here. The idea being we actually, like, we have really good odds of hitting misfortune here, and we're 33 HP, so one, we would like to hit a misfortune here so that we don't die, and 2, like, the odds of us actually hitting on a roll down are pretty good, though we do end up actually missing this time as well. But you can see MF outputting a ton of damage. The duo carry of the Aurora really nice, really close fight, but the Aurora ends up popping off there. Ooh, Aurora or Zac would be fantastic on carousel here, and we are not actually going to be first pick, so we can't take the Aurora. I mean, we could just take the Garen for a 5 cost to roll. Looks like we're looking at not that, though, just component. Actually, Dishsoap really in the tank here. Just going to take the bow here for, I guess, Nashers onto Aurora. I mean, it's a slam that you can make, which is not bad, and then just keep rerolling our stuff here, and yeah, sending it to 0 every single round. I think very, very smart from Dish here, and yep, just going to go the Nashers onto the Aurora. We're also rolling for a potential Urgot 2 getting thrown in by the Aurora, which is pretty nice as well. So, I mean, the board looks fine. I really don't, like, if you ask me, would I rather be in Dish's spot or like an average spot? I might take an average spot just because we're stuck on no MF2. We're kind of low. We're 0 gold. Like, I do think if this lobby caps high, we are in danger, but I'm curious to see how high it ends up capping out. We do end up picking up a Zac there, pick up another Aurora, which I guess we're just going to lock for here, which is so funny. But I mean, another Zac, if we can find Zac 2, that's going to be huge. And just, it's cool to see Dish playing around this unit that I think, yeah, last patch, just nobody was excited to play around the Zac. But I mean, the spot that we ended up getting Zac was fantastic. At the start of our roll down, we can just send it and end up finding him. And it's just like with the weakness of stuff like Kobuko now, it feels a lot better. He's actually, yeah, just going to ditch a 4 cost that he's rolling, and he would rather just get the generic shop there. That's Zac 2. Oh my God, we hit it. Don't want to reroll, actually. This was smart, by the way. He had the opportunity to make Cho 2. No need to roll Cho 2 here when all you need is 1 MF. You need to think about like what you actually need in a spot like this. Why would we roll Cho 2 when we only need 1 MF? Yes, we can look for MF3, but I mean, come on. Like, let's focus on MF2 first is the dream here. Okay, and we do finally get the MF2. We can start rolling Renekton here. Item-wise here, I mean, do you just bulk spread these, or do you make yeah, I mean, you just bulk spread these. I think this makes sense. I'm curious as well, do we want to swap items from Leo to Zac? It looks like the answer is no. We just think that Leona 2 is tankier than Zac 2. I can't imagine that that's like that Leona 2 is tankier than Zac 2, so maybe he just pryos more of a like a vow on Leona. Yeah, I'm not sure. Or maybe he will move the items over later and this was just an oversight. I'm not sure. But we do end up losing this fight, so if he's gonna do anything, now would be, I guess, the time. Yeah, not much to, but I mean, he keeps rolling. I mean, he has, this round you don't really care because you rolled Redemption plus Vow onto the Zac. So, I mean, these items are obviously perfectly fine on him. So, yeah, I mean, all right. We lost that fight. I mean, really just hoping to find Aurora too. At this point, there's barely anything to roll for except for the chance of high rolling a 5 cost on 8. But he's confident in his board. Great MF positioning, by the way. Almost completely snipes out the TF, but is it enough? Oh, like, this is actually getting kind of tragic here, though. MF's going to cast. Okay, we get there at the end. That was almost really tragic, getting the TF down to like 1 shot and then just him barely not dying. But okay, continuing to roll. Keep hitting these. I mean, I'm quite surprised, actually, but I think Dishsoap's just really confident in his board strength. He's saying, you know what? I'm scouting the lobby. I'm saying I'm going to beat a lot of these boards, which it's just such a scary spot. I would be really tempted to roll it down here and dig for more 5 costs to roll, or just, you know, hope to high roll an Aurora too. But I mean, he's looking at these boards and saying, Executioners, psh, I got this. I mean, maybe we'll see. Our board does kind of have low single target, though. If Rengar jumps in front of the MF, ooh. I mean, unless, oh, yeah, that's another loss. I mean, that's a whole life loss there, which you don't like. And okay, so now he started rolling there. I think he changed his mind at the last second, was like, yeah, I need to actually roll here. Looking to grab the Kobuko with the GS, really just for the 5 cost to roll, I guess. Ooh, I mean, this is a scary spot. We have to send it here. Aurora 2 would obviously be huge here, unless we roll into it. Nope, no Aurora 2. Oh my God. He's just gonna level for double Aurora. Whoa. Okay. I mean, double Aurora, and then we can pull in both of the Urgots here. Oh my God. That's actually such a smart idea. I really thought he was just gonna send it to 0 here, but there's a real world here where if he sent it to 0, he would lose. So wow, now we have double Aurora on the board, pulling into Urgots. We have a ton of frontline in the Zac. This is the board. Oh, that's such a cool, I mean, we're probably not going to play double Aurora forever, but it's a really cool way to spike our board right now. And every single round we roll down, try to pick up Zac blobs, 5 costs to roll. This is so cool. And also look at the lobby HP, man. One more top 4 and we're actually, or one more win and we're actually top 4. And with the Zac too, we need to make sure, I mean, really just don't want to fight that was Wigwag who was on Executioners, I believe. Really just want to stay away from that. End up early rotating into this Marksman board here, who has a pretty decent setup on 9, but I think the Zac frontline's enough. Yeah, MF clears the back line. Yeah, the Zac, our Zac was huge here. And we're also fighting a Zac here. Look at that, top 4 locked in. This game was so sketch. We actually made it. We're fighting Crabrave here, actually. So our board does it beat the Crab? I guess we're gonna find out. I mean, Zac's pretty tanky. MF does a lot of damage. She's doing a lot there. MF's not gonna get to another cast. Aurora's doing pretty good. I think we might be dead. Zac bouncing around. Leona doing the best. We died. Philip died, and we died into top 2 at 5-7. Oh my God. I mean, oh well. I thought this game was going to go on a bit longer, but 18-minute VOD because the game is over going into stage 6. That is actually hilarious. But I mean, shows off the power of this comp. You also see the first place board was also Kurt playing this very, very similar Dynamo setup. Literally the exact same board as us, except he was playing the version where you play around Silas and the Leona so that you can get the 4 Vanguard in. So he basically just played that version instead because he got to push levels and fit like everything in. But cool setup from Dish. Cool to show how to kind of like do that kind of flex roll down. When he saw the MF, when he saw the Aurora, he started to lock into it, especially more with his items. He decided to lock more into the line, but cool to know that you can flex both lines. And hey, like this board also topped 4. So a cool flex meta. Very cool. Thank you, Riot Games. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe, check out my Twitch, my Metafy, all my links down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.